Hello everyone, welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. I'm Crystal Kiefer, and my mission here is to bring truth, light, and encouragement to as many women as possible, helping them to realize who they are and allow them to tell their story while leaving them ridiculously hopeful for tomorrow. Hey guys, so this is a bit later in the day than I usually have Real Talk Tuesday. Usually it's at 10 a.m. But today, life said, hey honey, you forgot something. I forgot that I needed to show up to court today. And my husband reminded me. I was like, oh, okay, that's today. We can do a little switcheroo and we'll do Real Talk Tuesday a little bit later in the day. So that's what we're doing. I am here, and if you give me just a minute, I am going to set something up, and then we can get started. So, take me just a few seconds, hopefully. Sometimes this computer has a mind of its own, and it will not work. But it's actually working right now, so a few minutes, not minutes, a few seconds longer. So if you're watching, let me know how your day has been. Like I said, bear with me for just a second. I am going to share this in another location really quick, and then I will be able to dive in. And sometimes it doesn't show me who's on. I see 2 people are on live. Whoever you are, hi, how are you today? Almost there. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And of course it wants to be crazy. Every single time I do this, it gives me something different. Like sometimes it says, you know, share as a watch party. Sometimes it says share to a page. Facebook, get it together, come on. I'm just gonna do a watch party. Okay. So guys, once again, Crystal Kiefer here with Crystal Kiefer Inspired. I'm an artist, writer, photographer, and an all-around encourager. Like, that's one of the gifts of the spirit that I have. I'm an encourager. I'm a cheerleader at heart. And so today's topic is what do you do when you're facing, or how do you face, I lost my own topic. I had like 2 topics in mind, and I was like, I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with, so I'm going to go with this one. I can't even see my screen right now. So, like, when you're facing challenges in life, how do you keep going? From hearing a bunch of voices and words around me, you know, from observing on my news feed, and I go out in public, like to the grocery store, to Walmart or Target, I'm hearing these voices. Now, I only hear these voices when I have my hearing aids on, because homegirl has a hearing loss. I'm hearing people's struggles. I'm hearing, you know, thoughts of suicide. I'm hearing depression. I'm hearing all of this heavy stuff. Now, I know life can be challenging. We all face different things. Life isn't always easy. But it's through those challenges, through those things that we face, through those trials and tribulations, that we find strength to keep going, to keep rising, to keep moving forward. So I'm going to give you an example. After I had my daughter back in 2008, I wouldn't say I got diagnosed, but I know it was postpartum depression. I wouldn't go to the doctor, probably should have, but I believed very firmly in my heart that God was my healer. But during that time, before I became healed, I was depressed. I like color, like this. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Okay. Like all of my shirts were black. All of my pants were black. I was starting to wear my husband's jeans that he didn't want anymore. I was wearing these hoodies that that was just heavy and like hiding who I was. So when we're facing something hard in life, it's very easy to focus on me, 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 and what's going on with me, right? And that's what happened. I had to step down from a position. I had just become a manager about 6 to 8 months prior. Well, actually, a little bit 9 or 10 months prior, probably almost 11, almost a year prior. I became a manager. I had to step down from that position. So as a 22-year-old that had just become a manager, like was working her way up, I had to step down from something that I'd worked my way up for, right? And I lost a part of who I was. Like, who am I anymore? This was something that I loved doing. I loved managing and leading people. But here I am with a new baby, no job, and like, who am I? And I started focusing every ounce of my energy on me, on everything that I wasn't, everything that I didn't have anymore. It was hard paying for diapers and formula and buying groceries when I didn't have a job. And daycare was expensive. It wasn't cheap. So even if working a part-time job, it wouldn't have been enough to sustain the amount of daycare costs, right? So I started to lose a lot of who I was. And at that point in time, I didn't have the knowledge or the wisdom that I have today. But when we're facing challenges in life, what can we do? I can guarantee you a lot of times that there is somebody that is facing something harder than you while you're facing something hard. I decided to start running. I didn't know how to run. I couldn't run a mile. I couldn't run a half a mile. But I had to get out there and start somewhere because I wasn't liking where I was going. I wanted to kill myself. I would choke myself in my sleep. Like, not my sleep, like when I was laying in the bed. Because I felt like I was nothing anymore. I know a lot of women feel like that. A lot of people feel like that. So what can we do? We gotta start by taking the focus off of ourselves. Get that focus on somebody else. Get that focus on doing something for somebody else. Get that focus on somebody that's going through a harder time. Get that focus off of me, 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 and how can you use what's inside of you to do something for somebody else. So I found this little boy. I'd actually signed up for like a mentoring thing online, and I was part of like this group mentoring thing. And one lady had a friend that had a little boy that was going through chemotherapy and cancer, and he was having a hard time. So he just grabbed my heart. This little boy just grabbed my heart, and I started like focusing my energy on him. And I also started, I did keep the focus on myself a little bit by what can I do to work on this person. I had an attitude. I was angry. I thought that I was nothing. I wasn't enough. So focusing that energy on somebody else, and also taking that time to work on who I was so I could grow to somebody better, right? So that's what I did. When I joined this mentoring group of women, they were uplifting, they were inspiring, they were saying words to let me not deal with my own bullshit. I'm sorry I cursed, but sometimes you have to say it that way. I was putting up with too much of my own bullcrap. We have to come to a point in a place where we're honest with ourselves. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's not always the case, because some challenges and trials and tribulations that we face in life isn't about postpartum depression, isn't about depression at all. It's about something that maybe has been taken away from us. I had my mom taken away from me on Christmas Eve. A Christmas Eve. Like, of all the freaking days in the world, God, you want to take her home on Christmas Eve? It was hard. But I had to spend that time grieving. I had to spend that time praising God in the midst of something hard. Not being angry with him. Like, who was I to tell him that he couldn't take his child back? You know? So I continued to focus on, at that point in time, encouraging other people, even though it was hard. Taking that focus off myself, putting it on somebody else. Right now, some of you know that we got rear-ended by a car in November, and it beat the car up pretty good. The guy that hit us, his car was kind of tore up. And like right now, in the past few weeks, I've been dealing with some pain. Like right now, I've got some collarbone pain and stuff in my shoulder. Like I really didn't even sleep well last night. It would be really easy to just focus on that and complain about it, and focus on how I'm not physically able to do other things that I want to do. Every time I step out to do something like run or ice skate or whatever, and I think I'm kind of healed, it comes back and says, hey girl, remember that pain? I'm back. You can't do anything right now. But I'm not going to focus on that, because if I focus on that, I like running. I like encouraging people out there in the open to get out there and do stuff. If I focus on that, then I will start to become depressed, feeling like I'm not good. Feeling like everything that I worked hard for is just like thrown out the window. Everything that I want to do, I just can't accomplish it. I had to learn to take the word can't out of my vocabulary a long time ago, because that word can't limits us. It puts a limit on what we can actually do. We're not people of can't. We're not people that walk this earth, walk this life, and we're incapable of doing things. We can do anything, but sometimes we have like these little things that come in place, and we just have to step back just a little bit. Just because you have to step back does not mean you can't. So when you're facing something challenging in life, what do? For me, I try to take my focus off myself, because if I keep my focus on myself, I will start to think all these stinking thoughts, and it gives the enemy a place to come in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my ears, to try to dictate who I am. But I can't do that. I have to put a stop to it. He doesn't get to tell me who I am, how I live my life, what I'm capable of doing, how I step out into the world. Those thoughts come, but we can't allow them to take root. I've said this many times before. If you're facing something hard, I understand, I get it. We all face something hard. And remember that you're not the only one that's going through something hard. I can guarantee you. Like, there's not just 10 people in the world. There's not just 80 people in the world. There's billions of people in the world. I think. Millions. I'm not doing the math. There's a lot of people in this world. A lot of people in different countries. So if you're going through something hard, I can guarantee you that somebody else is as well. It's easy to feel in that place that we're the only ones going through something. When you start thinking that you're the only one going through something, I think it's time for you to evaluate how much you've been in your own thoughts, how much you've been in your own mind. When was the last time you got out into the world and sat and talked with someone? When was the last time you got out in the world and sat with a good friend, or somebody at church, or just somebody? Like, have you been spending a lot of your time in isolation? That's a scheme of the enemy. When you start to feel isolated, we were not created to be isolated. We were created to be in community. So when you're going through something hard, get with some I would say like-minded people, but depending on the situation that you're in, if you're facing certain things, some like-minded people may not be the best thing for you, because if you're having like all of these negative thoughts and all your words have been kind of negative and you don't want to keep talking that way, It's not a good idea to get around some of those same people. Get around some people that inspire you, encourage you, lift you up, relate, but yet not put up with your bullcrap. I have to be honest. If I had some bullcrap that I was putting up with my own self, I know that some other people got some bullcrap they were putting up with. Right? So what are we going to do when you're going through something hard? Get around some other people. Take the focus off yourself and help somebody else. Whether it's, somebody that you see on Facebook, like you're scrolling and somebody's saying, oh, I'm having a hard time, I just had a miscarriage, I don't know what else to do. Jump on there and encourage that person. If somebody's, you see somebody on your Facebook feed, or if you in the store and you hear somebody, whatever, or if you see somebody with a kid that's disabled and they're having a hard time opening the door in the grocery store, jump in front of them and open that door for them. Don't just stand there. Like, do something for somebody else. If you have extra funds in your bank account, but yet you're going through a hard time of, crazy stuff in your brain, and somebody else is in front of you, and they just got a few things, pay for their stuff. It takes the focus off of you and your situation, and it focuses on doing good in the world. When we start to do good, and we start to take that focus off ourselves, things start to change and shift. Starts to change and it starts to shift. And many of you also know that we're going through a whole house renovation and it's taken some time. More time than I want. And it's hard. It's hard not having your own space and your own house and everything that you want to do. But what do? I focus on other people and I keep going. Whenever something's really hard, it's so easy to throw in the towel. I'm not meant for this. I can't do this. It's so hard. Life wasn't guaranteed to be easy. It was not guaranteed to be easy. I'm going to tell you, I've walked through some crap. I've walked through some hard things, through poverty, through my mom being sick, through getting hit by a car, like literally, my body. Postpartum depression, just mindset, all these things. And there's more. Not having a great relationship with someone that's really, 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 really close to me. It would be easy to focus on everything that I don't have, everything that I'm not, everything that's hard in life. But I can't focus on that kind of thing. You can't. You have something inside of you that needs to get out. And a lot of times when we face these things, it's easy to give up because the enemy is right here on the side, in your ear, just tossing stuff in there. When you're facing something hard, just tossing stuff in there. Tossing. When you're sleeping, having dreams, tossing, like all this crap to you. And so many times, we start to believe it. Instead of digging a little bit deeper and pushing through even though it's hard. My mom, for instance, before she passed away, 6 months before she passed away, she was in, she had to get an amputation, and she was 65 years old, and the doctors, at that point in time, was telling us that she wasn't going to make it. But she didn't want an amputation. That's not what she wanted for her life. But we prayed, and it didn't get healed. So we went through with the amputation, and she got physical therapists. She worked. She strengthened herself and became stronger. She had a choice. She could have chose to sit in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. She could have chose that was going to be her life. But she decided, no. She decided that she wasn't going to put up with that thing that life was throwing at her, those lemons. She wasn't going to become bitter and sour. She's going to take those lemons and she's going to throw them back. And that's exactly what she did. She worked, and she worked, and it was hard, and she worked. And when she was supposed to get her prosthetic leg, there was like a delay, And she was getting frustrated. Yeah, she was frustrated, but she still showed up. She showed up every single day. Every single day. And she fought. And she fought. And she fought. So from June until like November, she was fighting. And then that November, she walked into my house to help me make Thanksgiving dinner. Now we can imagine a lot of us that have 2 legs, 2 working arms, great health. We can imagine living a life with 1 leg that we just kind of like happened out of nowhere, and you had to get your leg cut off. We can imagine that kind of thing. So here we are thinking, oh my gosh, life is hard. And here's somebody else with a leg that's gone, something that they've had for 65 years, and they're over there kicking butt. They're kicking butt. Another example, this guy that's here in Charleston, the company's called I Got Legs, and he's paralyzed. That's something to put our focus on. Like when we're going through a hard time, focus on somebody that's going through something hard and find that strength and dig into that strength that they're showing us. Dig into that, be inspired, be motivated by their story. Adam just walked 26 miles with an exoskeleton, which is like this thing that goes into his body. It goes onto his legs, and he's got like the sticks that he walks with. And it's not fast. It took him 33 hours to walk 26 miles. And we have all of our limbs, all of our things, and we're saying these things that we can't. You can. You can. Take the word can't out of your vocabulary. God gives you strength to do anything, and with God, anything is possible. Sorry, I almost said the wrong thing. With God, anything is possible. So if the word says, with Him, anything is possible, are you believing that getting out of that position, out of that area that you're in, there's possibility and opportunity? Are you believing if anything is possible with God, that depression can be lifted? Are you believing if anything is possible with God, that your situation can be turned around? It might be bad and hard right now, but if you're believing that anything is possible with God, it can be used for good. So girlfriends and guys, I see there's a few guys on here watching. When life gets tough, don't just take the lemons and put them in a basket and hold on to them. Because when you hold on to that stuff and hold on to these things, sometimes it creates bitterness in your heart. It creates a sour attitude. Take those lemons, pick them off the ground, and throw those suckers back and tell life, no. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. It might be hard in this season, but it won't be this way forever. Your words have power. How are you using the words that are coming out of these 2 lips of yours? Are you saying stuff that only the enemy can work with? It's okay if you are. I've done it too. It took some time to work on this mindset of mine. It took some time. But I had to rearrange my words so that God could work with them. I had to speak life-giving words. Not stuff like, oh, my life is meant to suck. Oh, my life always does this. Or this kind of thing always happens to me. Why me? Why? That's a complaining, moaning, groaning kind of attitude. But when I wake up in the morning, I get excited for a new day. Even though I've got some challenges that I'm facing, this pain in my shoulder, didn't sleep well last night, I was excited for a brand new day. Each day is a gift that we get to live. How are you going to live it? So when you're facing something challenging in life, you keep going. You keep pushing through. You dig deep. Honey, I guarantee you that there's so much strength on the inside of you that you haven't even tapped into yet. My mom didn't know that she had that strength inside of her that she could tap into to keep going and going and going until she was able to walk again. I'm sure when Adam, the guy with I Got Legs, first became paralyzed, in that moment was probably really frustrating, but he had to dig a little bit deeper, and that's exactly what he did. He dug deeper. He saw that there was potential inside of him, even though he was in a wheelchair and paralyzed. He saw that there was something more. A lot of times we get faced with these challenges and hit with these things because the enemy sees our value when we don't. Do you see your value? You are a child of the Most High God, and He created you whole, perfect, amazing, beautiful, a masterpiece, strong, capable, unique. I could go on and on and on. He created you valuable. So girlfriends, I hope that encourages you today. I hope that if you're going through something hard, that you choose to dig a little bit deeper, that you choose good words, that you choose words that only God can work with, that you choose to never, ever give up, even if it's hard, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm counting on you to not give up. Okay? That's a wrap for today, guys. Once again, my name is Crystal Kiefer, and I am with Crystal Kiefer Inspired here on Facebook. My mission here is to bring truth, light, and encouragement to as many women as possible, helping them to realize who they are and allow them to tell their story while leaving them ridiculously hopeful for tomorrow. And guys, if you enjoyed this message, would you share it with someone? Could you share it with someone? Somebody else needs these words. Somebody else needs to be uplifted. Somebody else needs some truth spoken to them. When I was going through that hard time, I needed some truth spoken to me, because I was believing all of the lies inside of my own head. So just share it, like it, comment, whatever. And tomorrow, my newsletter goes out. So if you have not signed up for my newsletter, if you go to my page, at the very top it says sign up. Click that link, and then it'll take you right there. You can sign up, and you can start getting some greatness to your inbox. Alright guys, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and until next time, peace out.